But first, when a political candidate comes from outside mainstream politics, and that candidate gets nominated to represent a major party, and part of that candidate's appeal is that they come from outside mainstream politics, there's now a well-established process of making that candidate over subtly to make them seem more mainstreamy for the general election. We saw that process in action with the post-primary scrubbing of Republican Senate candidate Sharon Angle of Nevada. We saw that in the shut down all media access scrubbing of Rand Paul. And we're now seeing the same process at work with Christine O'Donnell of Delaware. If you go to Christine O'Donnell's campaign website right now, here's what you'll find. Victory in Delaware. It's a short article thanking the people of Delaware for making Christine O'Donnell the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate. If you look closely, though, you will see that the date on this article is September 11, 2010. The problem with that is that the Republican primary that Christine O'Donnell won did not happen until 3 days after that, on September 14th. So Christine O'Donnell's website is declaring victory in the primary 3 days before she won the primary. Spooky. How to explain the discrepancy? It could, of course, be the result of little hocus pocus, maybe? Eye of newt, toe of frog? The more likely explanation is that right after Christine O'Donnell won the Republican Party nomination, her official website essentially came down. The whole thing got replaced by this page, which prominently featured a big Donate Now button, and that was it. That was all that existed about her online for a few days until the new Christine O'Donnell website was unveiled. And when the new Christine O'Donnell website got unveiled, boy, things sure did look different. On the old campaign website, for example, there was this big list prominently displayed on the endorsements page, all sorts of Tea Party groups and individual activists who had officially endorsed Christine O'Donnell's bid for the United States Senate. The shiny new endorsements page looks a little different now. Scrolling through, you can find that very nice, giant, soft-focused picture of Republican Senator Jim DeMint. Also, there's one of Sarah Palin there, too. But many of the groups that are listed on the original endorsements page are no longer listed on the new one. You can dig around on the site and still find them, but they are not listed on the official endorsements page anymore. Who are they? Who's been moderate makeovered out of the Christine O'Donnell campaign? Well, there's this guy.
My advice to the president is, in two good words, shut up!
Woo! That fellow was Herb Dennenberg, keynote speaker at a recent event for the Independence Hall Tea Party PAC, an organization prominently listed on Christine O'Donnell's old endorsements page, but not on the new one. Here's some of the Independence Hall Tea Party PAC's other magnificent work.
We will take a literal fight to every street and Capitol building in every state. We, the people of the United States, will gladly and with honor replenish that tree of liberty with the blood of new patriots in order to sustain that shade of liberty which protects ourselves and our posterity from the destructive heat of tyranny.
When he said we will take a literal fight, he was contrasting that with a more metaphorical, like political fight. He means blood, literal fight and blood. So that's the group that didn't quite make the cut anymore on the new Christine O'Donnell website. One of them. Another group that got axed from her new endorsements page is a group called Catholic Families for America. See, here they are on the old Christine O'Donnell page, misspelled as Catholic Families of America. Apparently, as part of its endorsement process, Catholic Families for America has candidates fill out a 4-page questionnaire. The one for 2010 U.S. House and Senate candidates includes questions like, do you promise to advocate that judges who attempt to establish secular atheism as the state religion should be removed from office? Also, will you vote to protect the sovereignty of Latin American countries such as Honduras against takeovers by Castro Chavez leftists who are aided and abetted by our own president? So yeah, for some reason, Catholic Families for America did not make it onto the new and improved Christine O'Donnell endorsements page. We called them today to ask their reaction to the omission. They told us in part, quote, we were not aware of the change on Miss O'Donnell's website, but we are also not concerned about it. Campaigns make decisions, or sometimes simple computer mistakes. occasionally. We also asked them if they could provide us with a copy of Christine O'Donnell's completed questionnaire. We will let you know if they do that. And if we get that questionnaire, we will definitely let you know how she said she feels about protecting Honduras from Barack Obama's pending invasion. But Catholic Families for America shares something in common with a few of the yet further groups, yet more groups, who have been purged from the new Christine O'Donnell endorsements page. That organization, that Catholic Families group, as well as the Susan B. Anthony List Candidate Fund and the Concerned Women PAC, they're all anti-abortion groups. The way that the conservative resurgence has been marketed this year is as if it is all about fiscal conservatism. It's all about cutting government spending, getting the federal deficit under control, shrinking the size of the federal government, and putting all those divisive social issues behind them, uniting Republicans and conservatives on these fiscal issues and not dealing with those divisive social issues anymore. That's what the Republican comeback has been framed as. But that is not at all what we're seeing right now from the crop of Republican candidates who are getting elected as part of this conservative resurgence. As we mentioned last week, Christine O'Donnell is one of the many Republican Senate candidates this year who are moving one traditionally hot-button issue way to the right of where it has ever been before. Yes, there have been lots of anti-abortion Republican Senate candidates over time. The whole party, almost without exception, wants to make abortion illegal. But this year, there are 5 candidates for Senate who want to ban it without exceptions for rape or incest. Christine O'Donnell in Delaware, Sharon Angle in Nevada, Ken Buck in Colorado, Rand Paul in Kentucky, Joe Miller in Alaska, all want the government to intervene if a woman gets pregnant because of rape or incest. They want the government to intervene to force a woman or a girl in that situation to give birth to the rapist's baby or to their relative's baby, no matter what she or the girl or woman's doctor wants. The culture war is back. Culture war issues are back in Republican politics this year, even though everybody said they weren't. And they're back in a big way. The right is now starting to admit it amongst themselves, even as the Beltway media has failed so far to catch up.
We do not live in a world where an American leader can just focus on the financial ledger. A political party that would govern this great nation must be able to handle more than one issue at a time. We must work to create jobs and protect innocent human life and defend traditional marriage. To those who say that marriage is not relevant to our budget crisis, I say you would not be able to print enough money in 1,000 years to pay for the government that you would need if the family continues to collapse. To those who say we should focus on cutting spending, I say, okay, let's start by denying all federal funding for abortion at home and abroad.
Republican Congressman Mike Pence of Indiana, who won the presidential straw poll at the Values Voter Summit in Washington this weekend, saying essentially, you want to talk fiscal conservatism? Okay, let's say that abortion is a fiscal issue then. Sure, why not? These terms otherwise have no meaning. At the risk of stating the obvious to everyone who doesn't work in media, what is going on the right now is not about fiscal conservatism. It is culture war. All over again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to choose as a nation between the homosexual agenda and freedom, because the two cannot coexist. Every advance of the homosexual agenda comes at the expense of liberty, particularly religious liberty.
The homosexual agenda and freedom cannot exist. In the last great era of Republican culture wars, it was the then Vice President of the United States, Dan Quayle, waging war on the TV show Murphy Brown for being a bad example of single motherhood. Remember that? It was Pat Buchanan's podium-pounding, blood-curdling call for culture war at the 1992 Republican convention. It was Republicans like Jesse Helms saying that AIDS is God's punishment on people who are gay because they are gay. It may be 2010 now and not 1994, but the same folks, a lot of them at least, are still around. And the same tactics are still being used. In 1994, when George W. Bush defeated Ann Richards to become the governor of Texas, he did it with the help of a whisper campaign about gays and lesbians surrounding Ann Richards. So you know, of course, Ann Richards must be secretly gay. Flash forward to 2010 and Christine O'Donnell's effort to defeat Republican Mike Castle. Mike Castle, who's suddenly besieged by rumors from folks connected to Christine O'Donnell that he's secretly gay.
I think that that's a very tacky approach. I never said that Mike Castle was gay. I don't endorse putting out rumors that Mike Castle is gay.
Are we talking about those rumors that Mike Castle is gay? Who said Mike Castle is gay? Did you say Mike Castle is gay? I didn't say Mike Castle is gay. Where might you have heard that Mike Castle is gay? Gay? Have you heard that? And it's not just the same tactics being used right now in many cases. In many cases, it is the same exact people using the exact same tactics.
When the world looks at America these days, all too often they see a moral swamp, a culture promoting sex and violence. No wonder our enemies think they can defeat us. This has been the equivalent of a cultural oil spill. It's not sea otters and ducks that are washing up on shore, covered with gunk. It is our kids.
We have to have the courage to tell the truth, and we have to have the courage to act on the truth. Our elites are wrong on the basic values that define America.
We are allowing a brutalization and a degradation of children in this country, a destructiveness.
Bureaucrats and politicians in Washington think they should decide what kind of light bulb we use, what kind of toilets we flush. They'll buy your teenage daughter an abortion, but they won't let her buy a sugary soda in a school's vending machine.
A lot of the money that we're spending goes to things that we know will not prevent AIDS, but indeed will continue to spread the disease. When a lot of our money goes to distribute condoms in high schools, when a lot of our money goes to distribute material that is literally pornographic.
The culture wars are back. In some cases, they never went away. People got jobs doing other things, raising money on culture war issues, doing some other stuff around politics, keeping a hand in. Now they've just been promoted to high-ranking electoral candidates again. Trading prayer in schools for mosques, trading Bill Clinton's a drug dealer for Barack Obama's a socialist, trading abortion restrictions for even more restrictive abortion restrictions, trading the gay agenda for the gay agenda, trading don't ask, don't tell for don't ask, don't tell. The culture wars are back. Someone hide the National Endowment for the Arts. Quick.